You're listening to The Ride to Work with Pastor Fred. Fuel for your faith before you clock in. Enjoy the ride.
Hello. Thank you again for joining us for the Ride to Work. Happy that you have found us and just found us and those regular riders. I'm so grateful and thankful for you all for being with us here on the ride this morning. Listen, we have been talking about overwhelmed this week. Overwhelmed. We've gotten down here to Thursday now. We dealt with being overwhelmed by responsibility, being overwhelmed by expectation, being overwhelmed by emotions, all of that. We are now here for something that's very, very, very sensitive, and it can be real tensive, should I say, because at some point in our lives, at some time in our lives, I'm sure some of us, if not all of us that are listening out there, we've done something that we regretted. We've done something that we wish we could take back, that we uh, hadn't said or performed, or something that we're now living or we lived to regret it. So we want to talk about uh, on this Thursday, overwhelmed by regret. Overwhelmed by regret. Our character reference is about grace. That's what it's about. Write that down, grace, because that's our character reference dealing with this uh, particular sensitive subject today. Overwhelmed by regret. Listen, regret. I'm going to say it like that. And just give you kind of like maybe explanation, so to speak, or definition, or a working definition, should I say. That means it expands. Uh, it could be that quiet wait. It could be that replay button in your mind. It could be that moment you keep revisiting. It could be a conversation you wish you could do over, a decision you wish you could reverse. You know what I'm saying? An opportunity that you wish you would have taken. Regret, regret has a way of making yesterday feel stronger than today. That kind of regret is what I'm talking about, because it does something dangerous. Regret convinces you to keep living in a place that you cannot change. You cannot change it. You can't. And the harder part about regret, listen, the hardest part about regret is you you're not just fighting what happened, you're fighting what you keep telling yourself about what happened. That's the hardest part. Huh? Some people you're not stuck because of the mistake. You're stuck because you've allowed the mistake to become your identity. That's what's happened. So I just want to talk about today as far as just it's simple. The message is real simple. What I want to say to you today is real simple. Look, your worst decision is not greater than God's ability to restore. That's what I'll tell you. That's very simple. It's easy to remember, easy to digest. And I really, really want you to, because I really want you to understand that some of you, you're selling yourself short based off of something that you regret doing in the past. And it's not that it didn't happen, but you don't have to keep reliving it over and over again in your present. You don't. And I say that because the first thing I need you to just get into your hearing, I'm saying it, and I'm going to say it loud. Look, stop reliving what God is trying to redeem. Stop doing it. There's a difference between remembering something and living inside of something. There's a difference. See, when you have wisdom, you display wisdom. Wisdom remembers. Yeah, wisdom does. You remember what you did. You remember what happened. You remember the fallout. You remember, the evidence, the residue, all of that. But regret remains, though. It stays. It stays. Because when you remember something, that means at some point in time, it hadn't been on your mind, hadn't been walking with you, hadn't been talking with you, but then at some point you remembered it. But regret just remains, stays with you. That's what it does. Memory says learn from it. Regret says stay trapped in it. And that's what I don't want you to do. That's what I don't want you to do. Because regret, it keeps taking you back to a place God is trying to move you beyond. And you keep revisiting a chapter that God has already closed. He's closed that. I don't know how long it's been, because I do want to be clear. I mean, I don't know, maybe you've done something you regret right just fresh yesterday or last week or last month or however, at some point in time, once you move past it, because I do you got to give time to what takes time. So I don't want I'm not trying to be light in whatever happened, whatever you did that's got you in this way of being regretful and regrettable about it. But I do want to say, if time has passed, you don't have to keep reliving it over and over and over again. As a matter of fact, I just wanted to say as a tagline, if you can just remember that, look, I don't want your worst moment to be your final chapter. I don't want that. And I don't want you believing that. Stop reliving what God is trying to redeem. Learn from it, yes, but don't stay trapped in it. Some people wake up every single day, and what you do, they punish themselves for something they did years ago. And I hope that's not anybody out there. You've apologized, you've changed, you've grown, you've done all the work to become a better you, and internally, you're still serving a sentence for something God had already offered forgiveness for. You're still doing that. You can't build a new future while constantly putting yourself on trial for an old past. You can't not do that. You can't do it. So I need you to look, stop doing it. Stop reliving that stuff, man. And don't let anybody keep you in that. Stop reliving that stuff. God said, look, you're forgiven, you're forgiven. God redeemed you from it, you're redeemed. Redemption has taken place. Look, your slate is clean now. You can remember it, but I don't want you to keep reliving it. I don't want you to do that. I tell you all the time, as far as when we're talking about looking back, and I always use the reference of a rear view mirror. The rear view mirror was made for reflection, not direction. Reflection, not direction. Take a glance back, but keep it pushing forward. Huh? Philippians says what? Forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward to those things which what are ahead. That's Apostle Paul. He didn't say ignore your past. That's not what he's saying. But don't allow your past to stop your pursuit. Come on, if we're trying to be better, let's be better. We're never going to get to better if we keep beating ourselves up about what's behind us. We're never going to get that. You got to tell yourself, my past is a place I learned from, not a place I live in. I learned from it. Second thing I need you to understand, look, don't let failure become your identity. Don't let it happen. One of the greatest, one of the most slickest tricks that can ever be played on somebody is that when regret makes you believe that I did something wrong, therefore I am something wrong. Ah, don't do that. Stop lying to yourself. Your actions and your identity are not the same thing. They're not. They're not the same thing. And I know you'll sit and you'll be hard on yourself. And a lot of people, and I'm gonna say this because I gotta just do a little sidebar here. Some of you like living in that regrettable state because you like the attention that it gets you. You do. You like the attention that it gets you. You like the the man. Let me see, how can I put it? Hmm, because of the fact that you have asked forgiveness, and you feel you've come past it, but you still keep reliving it. So you like the compassion, the comfort when you tell people, I'm still Going through this, why did I do this? Why did I do that? Man, I should have never did that. I should have never did that. And people say, look, it's okay. God's forgiving you, this or that. At some point, you have to know that's what happened. God's forgiving you, but you got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive yourself and stop relishing the attention that you get from living in self pity and misery. Stop relishing that. That's not attractive. Not at all. Huh? You know what's really good? You know what's really the confidence that you have to know, and I'm not saying excuse it away as a human thing, but you're human. But the confidence to know, yeah, and address and accept, yes, I did it, I messed up, but you know what? That's not who I am. I've moved past it. If you want to stay stuck back there, then you stay stuck back there. I'm not looking back like that. I'm moving forward. I'm different now. I'm new now. I'm changed now. That's not me anymore. That's not me. Don't let failure become your identity. Just because you did something wrong don't mean something wrong with you. No, they're not the same thing. Your actions and who you are not the same thing. You can make a mistake without being a mistake. Come on. You can do it. You can fail without becoming a failure. Stop lying to yourself. Stop beating yourself up like that. Look, I'll give you an example. Look at Peter. Peter, he was a disciple who he failed, but he was restored. Huh? Peter was passionate. Peter was bold. Peter loved Jesus. But he also had a moment of weakness. He did. You know what Jesus told him? Look, you go for the crucifixion. You can find it in Luke. It said, the rooster shall not crow this day before you will deny me three times. Three times you're going to deny me before the rooster even crows. Huh? So Peter was holding up the natural order of things because he had to deny Jesus three times before the rooster does what it normally does, crow. And just like Jesus said, Peter denied knowing him three times. The same Peter who said, I'll never leave you, Lord. Same Peter who pulled out his sword to defend Jesus. The same Peter who appeared strong. That same dude collapsed under pressure. He collapsed under pressure. He was there on site to see the miracles. He saw the raising of the dead. He saw, as far as the restoration of the sick, he saw the healing of the blind and all that. He saw all of this, but he still collapsed under pressure. Hmm? So if anybody had any reason to be regretful, it was Peter. He had a reason to be overwhelmed by regret. Come on, imagine his thoughts. How could I do that? Man, I promised Jesus. I failed him. How can God use me after this? Think about it. Because some of you say the same things. Because some of you say it to excuse yourself to staying in that. Because you don't want the responsibility of growth. And I get it. I ain't crazy. I know some of you, you don't want to grow because with growth comes responsibility and expectations and accountability. So some of you like to wallow in your misery because you feel that it lowers anybody's expectations of who you are supposed to be. And you ain't got to play the role. You ain't got to do the work to be better, to grow. So you say all that stuff. God can't use me after this. That's why a lot of people talk about, man, I can't come to church, man. I go to church, church will burn down, lightning will strike. And all. Man, who are you? Really? That's real self-indulgent to think that just because you come to church, you can destroy whatever's going on that day, on that Sunday. Man, get over yourself. That's just an excuse because you don't want to do the work. But Jesus didn't throw Peter away, did he? No, he did not. He restored Peter. He restored him. He finds Peter and asks him, do you love me? Huh? He didn't ask him, do you remember what you did? He didn't ask him, do you remember your mistake, Peter? No, Jesus at that moment was rebuilding Peter's identity. And I need you to understand that. God does not restore you by pretending your failure never happened. Hear me when I say this. He restores you by proving the failure was not the end of it. It's not the end all of you. Huh? Peter's failure only, what it did, it became a part of his testimony. That's what it did. The same man who denied Jesus became one of the boldest, most powerful voices in the church. Same one. You got to tell yourself, my failure may be a part of my story, but it's not the title of my story. No, it's not. Last thing I need you to understand, get this. Get this. Use your regret as a teacher, not a prison. Use it as that. Your regret can either become a classroom or a cage. Choice is yours. Think about it. The classroom teaches you. That's what a classroom does. A cage traps you. It traps you. But the question is, listen, what will I do with what happened? Because you can't change the event. You can't change it. But you can change the effect. Please hear me when I say that. You can change the effect. There are people that I know personally who are carrying all types of regret from a failed relationship, a bad financial decision, a missed opportunity, a moment where they just got angry or they were just hurt, a season that was wasted. But listen, if you spend all your energy mourning what you lost, you will miss what is still available. You'll miss it. You'll miss it. Look, let me give you this example. A farmer, uh, let me see. Let me set this up right. A farmer does not plant a seed and spend the entire season staring at the hole where the seed was buried. He doesn't do that. You know, like when you know when you're in the kitchen, and it's some old saying or whatever. Water never boils if you're sitting there staring at it, waiting for it to. You just got to trust the process. That's what a farmer does. He trusts the process because something buried does not always mean something is dead. Sometimes something is buried is being transformed. That's what that means. So I need you to understand that. Understand that. Listen. Okay, look, you break a bone. Let's say you break a bone. Because I want to make sure you're with me on this. You break a bone and it can leave a scar. It does. It can leave a scar because you got to get it repaired and it leaves a scar. What that scar does, that scar reminds you there was pain. Yeah, I like this. I like this. I like this. I'm setting this up nice. The scar reminds you there was pain, but the scar also, watch this, proves that healing took place. That's what it does. The evidence of what hurt you can become proof that you survived it. That's what I'm talking about. All things work together for the good to those who love God. It doesn't say all things are good. It says God can work through all things. So I get it. And yeah, you need to tell yourself, I can't rewrite yesterday. I can't do it. But I can redeem what I do with it today. I can redeem it for what I do with today, right now. So listen, I'm getting ready to close this out. But I mean, if regret's been riding with you, I mean, it's time to stop letting it drive. That's all I can say. Regret is a terrible driver. It keeps making you look backwards. It keeps replaying old stories, old routes. It keeps reminding you where you went wrong. But God is not calling you to drive backwards. He's calling you to move forward. Peter had a moment, but Peter also had a mission. David had failure, but David also had a future. Paul had a past, but Paul also had purpose. And so do you. I am not my worst moment. I am still becoming. And I'm going to end on that. We'll have 5 for Friday. Send in your questions. God bless you. Have a great day.